Did you know that Red Bull could abandon its championship fight if the new upgrades don't work in Austria? What seemed like just another race could be the turning point for Verstappen and the team's future. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Red Bull can save its season with these upgrades? Are we witnessing Red Bull's last real attempt to stay at the top of Formula One? In this video, I explain everything about the RB21 upgrade package that Red Bull will be bringing to the 2025 Austrian GP. A change that could define not only the future of the season, but also Max Verstappen's fate at the team. Red Bull Racing is not going through its best moment in the 2025 Formula One season. After years of dominating the category, the Milton Keynes-based team faces one of its toughest challenges since the beginning of the hybrid era. Instead of comfortably leading as in previous campaigns, Red Bull arrives at the Austrian Grand Prix in a position that, until recently, seemed unthinkable. It sits fourth in the Constructors' Championship with just 162 points. This figure leaves it far behind McLaren, which leads the standings with 374 points, closely followed by Mercedes and Ferrari. The gap separating Red Bull from the lead is not only significant, but also demoralizing for a team that has built its reputation on technical excellence and on-track consistency. More than 200 points midway through the season represents a virtually insurmountable obstacle, unless a radical transformation occurs. And that is precisely why the Austrian Grand Prix presents itself as a critical turning point. This event, on their home circuit, isn't just another race, it's a last chance to turn things around before it's too late. Internal pressure within the team has increased noticeably, and that tension is reflected in recent statements from key figures. Helmut Marko, Red Bull's senior advisor, has been blunt about this. In an interview with the Austrian outlet Kleine Zeitung, he stated that if the new updates to be introduced in Austria don't work as expected, it will be virtually impossible to fight for the World Championship. That statement not only reveals the urgency of the moment, but also marks a shift in tone within the team, which has shifted from confidence to strategic concern. Austria, then, isn't simply the next destination on the calendar, it's the stage for a decisive gamble. Red Bull has confirmed that it will be bringing a comprehensive update package affecting critical areas of the car. The logic behind this decision is clear. If they fail to find additional performance at this point in the season, not only will their competitiveness be reduced for the remainder of the year, but they will also commit valuable resources that could have been allocated to the development of the 2026 car at a time when the next generation of technical regulations is already taking shape. Red Bull has decided to go all out for the Austrian Grand Prix. These aren't minor adjustments or simple aerodynamic tweaks. The team has prepared a comprehensive update package covering key elements of the RB21. This move is neither casual nor improvised. It responds to an urgent need to reverse the negative trend that has plagued the car for much of the season. The improvements that will be seen in Austria represent a serious technical intervention designed to directly attack the weak points that have limited the car's performance so far this year. Among the most significant modifications is a complete overhaul of the car's floor. This component has been an area of constant development since the beginning of the season, but now comes with a completely new version that, according to the team itself, seeks to re-optimize the airflow intake, the surrounding geometry, and the support points. In the words of Paul Monahan, Red Bull's chief engineer, the objective is clear: to improve overall aerodynamic efficiency and, above all, to correct the flow stability limitations that have generated balance and performance issues at multiple circuits. In addition to the floor, the front and rear wings have also been redesigned. These areas are key to downforce generation in car handling, especially in high-speed corners and during braking phases. A complete redesign at both ends of a car indicates that Red Bull is not trying to adapt the car to a specific track, but rather to redefine its overall behavior. This is a commitment to a more predictable balance and a more controlled response in variable conditions, something the RB21 has consistently failed to offer. These updates are not the result of desperate improvisation. They are part of a technical plan that has been in the making for months, and Austria is the key moment to demonstrate whether they can truly make a difference. Red Bull knows it no longer has the margin to test partial solutions. If this package doesn't deliver immediate results, the team will have to make difficult decisions not only about the development of the current car, but also about where to direct its resources and efforts heading into 2026. Max Verstappen, four-time world champion and the undisputed face of the Red Bull project, arrives at the Austrian Grand Prix under more pressure than ever. Although he's still in contention for the Drivers' Championship, he currently sits in third place with 155 points, behind Lando Norris, who leads with 198, and Oscar Piastri, who follows with 176. That gap isn't definitive, but it does represent a real threat to his aspirations. Verstappen has shown, on more than one occasion, that he is capable of getting performance out of even difficult cars. However, this season is pushing him harder than usual. And not just on a sporting level, but also on a mental and emotional level. The RB21's inconsistent performance has been a constant obstacle. In some races, the car has performed well enough to allow him to compete for victory. In others, a lack of consistency in performance has left him without any real tools to fight at the front. This situation has forced Verstappen to become more involved than usual in the technical development of the car, directly influencing some key decisions regarding the team's approach. He himself acknowledged that, since last year, he knew there were fundamental aspects that weren't working, and that many things needed to be changed. That phrase, said clearly, shows that the driver is no longer limited to execution, but is an active part of the car's construction. In this context, Austria presents itself as a double test, on the one hand for the car, which must show real progress following the introduction of the new technical package, and on the other for Verstappen, who needs solid results not only to keep his title hopes alive, but also to justify the confidence placed in the course he himself helped define. The race at the Red Bull Ring also carries a special emotional charge. It is the team's home circuit, where the Orange Army fills the stands and expects dominant performances. It is an environment where expectations come not only from the paddock, but also from the grandstands. The Austrian Grand Prix isn't just another race on the calendar. It marks the start of a key phase of the season, a series of 4 European Grands Prix crammed into just 6 weeks. This stage is not only intense due to its tight schedule, but also due to the potential it offers teams to rapidly test, adjust, and evolve their developments. For Red Bull, this represents a unique opportunity to validate the new RB21 updates in real-world racing conditions and, in parallel, make almost immediate adjustments ahead of the following events, such as Silverstone, Hungary, and Spa. Helmut Marko has already indicated that what will be seen in Austria will not be a closed package. The team plans constant evolution, with further improvements planned for Silverstone, indicating an iterative development strategy. Rather than expecting major technical revolutions at each race, Red Bull is focusing on introducing incremental changes, optimizing the package race after race. It's a pragmatic approach, especially useful when there isn't the time or leeway to redesign the entire car. The key now will be to see if these small improvements, when combined, can generate a large enough overall gain to revive the season. However, this process is taking place under the shadow of great pressure. The 2026 season is looming, and with it, a complete change in technical and power unit regulations. This is forcing teams to divide their focus and resources. Every investment in this year's car must be carefully considered, as it could mean sacrificing hours of wind tunnel, simulation, or production time for the car under the new regulations. In this sense, time has become as scarce a resource as performance. Red Bull knows it's racing in two directions, trying to save 2025 without compromising 2026. Therefore, what happens in the coming weeks will be crucial not only for the current standings, but also for defining the team's strategic approach. If the improvements work and the car performs, Red Bull could extend its commitment to this season until the last minute. But if performance doesn't improve tangibly in Austria and Silverstone, the team is likely to decide to redirect most of its efforts toward developing the 2026 car. That decision would mark a turning point in the year and, possibly, in the team's relationship with Verstappen and other key members of its structure. At this point in the season, it's no longer just speculation or hypothetical scenarios. The data, the results, and the team's own statements confirm that Red Bull is in a critical situation. The improvements they've introduced in Austria aren't simple adjustments, they're a sign of urgency, a response to the need to reverse a worrying trend that has jeopardized everything the team has built in recent years. The margin for error is minimal, and every decision they make from now on will have a direct impact on their chances of remaining at the top of Formula One. Max Verstappen, meanwhile, continues to be the linchpin around which the entire project revolves. His leadership, talent, and technical involvement have been essential in keeping the team competitive even in difficult times. Therefore, what's at stake in these upcoming races is not just a qualifying victory, but the credibility of the Red Bull project in the medium and long term. What began as a rumor or a suspicion has now become a real possibility. Red Bull could end the year without a title and with the need to completely rethink its approach. And that, in an environment like Formula One, where stability is key to sustained success, represents a huge strategic risk. Time is running out, opportunities are drying up, and the team needs results now, not later. Every race will be a test, every result an answer, and the pressure no longer comes only from outside, but also from within. This isn't just the end of a season, it could be the beginning of a new era in Formula One.